Hi everybody, I've got a very special journal here today. This is for MJ, dear friend of mine, and it's a Mama Jamma. This thing is humongous. It is a 5.5 by 8, and the spine is 3.25. That's the back. Look at that. That is a Mama Jamma. Love it. And believe it or not, it is racked, stacked, and packed. And that's what she wanted. And she wanted a lot of pockets and hidden spots, which we did. Well, I did. I always say we because it's me and Val. And going in, this has got some of that real pretty trim I got at the estate sale, and some petals, some lace, and coffee dyed roses, and then a piece of lace here that I tied together with some of my very special yarn. You can't get it anymore. I have tried and tried to find it, and you can't get it. So I use this very sparingly. I sewed around the edge in gold, so it's all sewn, and then it has some lace peeping out on all the edges here. And going inside, isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. That is just gorgeous. Look at this. Huge, I tell you, huge. Okay, let me see how I can get this. I had to adjust my camera setting and everything to get this puppy in. It's got a tablecloth with a damask pattern, and I left this plain because it has so much going on that anymore, and I think it would explode. She wanted lots of places to store things. So on the first page here, you've got a pocket here, a pocket behind it. Oh, that's a pocket, and it goes all the way through. And then here is my little secret pocket, the first of many. And I just took a safety pin and I covered it with laces. And I put 2 pieces of lace, one on each side. And it pins together. And then there's a hiding place right there. Isn't it neato? Over here, we've got, and I left a lot of it empty because I know that she's got a lot of stuff she wants to put in here. So over here, you've got a place back here. And of course a place here to put stuff in. Lots of stitching. This is some of that thick fabric. A little rose that I made, and a little ticket with a butterfly. It says kindness. And this moves up. And this is a pocket back here. Another hidden tuck spot right there. And it closes there. This also helps to hold that down a little flatter. And over here, I just used some sari ribbon, and I stitched it in the blue and left it blank. You may want to put something there. This is a piece of coffee dyed paper with a little silk flower and some stickles, and then some of the papers that I enjoy making. This thing, I think, is the biggest journal I've ever made. Over here, we have, of course, a pocket. And this is another one of the coffee dyed papers. And here is some corrugated heart with some lace and some different fabrics, and the grass cloth is behind it. But this, right here, is a hidden pocket. Right in there. So that's hidden. I hope I can remember where I put them all. Over here, she wanted some belly bands, so I put some of those in here. This is lace, part of a doily, and French wording. And the cards flip out. It's a tiny tuck spot back here. And a tiny tuck spot back here. The little upside down card. And then over here is the belly band with a little card and a button. Over here is some of that grass cloth with the sari ribbon stitching and a real pretty image of ladies. I chose ladies for this theme. And this flips up. Oh, looky there, tuck spot I missed. Okay, MJ, you got to fill that out. That's a tuck spot. Little places to journal, and I would journal there too. And then here is also a place for storage. Over here is a corrugated butterfly with a ruffled lace and some real pretty images on a muslin pocket. Got 2 cards in here. Little vintage, pretty vintage lady. And I tied off this booklet here, and I put some little metal hearts that just kind of dangle in the book. And this is seam binding. Opens up, and you've got places to journal here. A little booklet secured down. I thought if I filled all the pockets with stuff that it would explode, but if you need to, MJ, to put some of your stuff in, I would take some of my stuff out and stick it in some of your other journals. Over here, we have an image of a lady standing next to a chair, and I put a coffee dyed card, and of course the snippets. Little snippets of paper that I like to do. A pretty image and some raised stitching here and some fabric. See, that goes all the way through. She's not totally glued down, just where she needs to be to hold stuff. Over here, it's a real pretty image of a lady, little girl, or not little girl, but selling flowers. And a tulle bow and a little ticket that says, a tag that says beautiful. Got some fabrics up here with some of that grass cloth and part of an encyclopedia page. And a card tucked in the pocket. Oop, come back here. But this is also a hidden tuck spot back here that you can put stuff down in and hide. Behind here, between the pocket and here. Over here we have I just love this image. I love her dress. I think it's just gorgeous. And I put a few antique safety pins and some lace and pretty rose in the background. A little card that's been stitched. And up here, not a matching safety pin, but an antique one. Some ruffled lace and some fabrics. But this is a deep pocket. It will hold more than just this. I like it over to the side so you can see the rose. Over here, I've got a little fan with some little pom-poms here and a pink flower and sari ribbon and fabric. And up here is a ruffle with some of that grass cloth. And this serves to hold these papers that flip up. So you have places to journal. And also, there's a hidden pocket back here. Behind this. This is glued down, the last page, so there's a pocket behind it. Over here, I've got some little mini tags, real pretty graphic, and some sari ribbon. Little pocket that says grateful made out of a crochet doily. And a card on French. And a Rolodex card. I love these Rolodex cards. I think they're so neat. Real pretty floral graphic in the background there. And the tag's just kind of flippy-floppy. Back over here is another tuck spot. I made that out of coffee dyed paper. Put this little image here. Did I make that? Yeah. You can tuck something in there if you want. Little ticket and some fabrics and a pearl. And I embossed this. And this is just a coin envelope. It's empty for you to put in whatever you like. Over here, I've got a little mini pocket with a little booklet in it. It's heavily coffee dyed. Love that. A pretty image of a lady, and it's got some stitching around it, and a little paper flower that I made with some fabrics and the grass cloth there. And also this is a tuck spot behind here. Big pocket. Over here, I made a lace pocket, and I used one of my little charms. It's grapes with an antique safety pin, and this is a lavender sachet. It says Embrace Today. And I stuck a booklet in here. And it's got all kinds of papers in it. Lavender sachet kind of comes out of that. I used tulle. Maybe that wasn't such a brilliant idea. Over here, a little mini ticket with part of a doily and a safety pin, and it's a tuck spot. That's lace. It's a pocket, and it's covered in lace and coffee ink. No, I inked that. So you have a pocket back here. Over here, I just love this fabric. Just absolutely love it. It's tacked down. It's got a little butterfly and a pretty background image with a pocket here and some coffee dyed papers. Like I said, if it were me and I was adding stuff in here, I would take some out because it is huge. And this pocket has a little Tim Holtz mini safety pin, paper clip with a little ticket, but it opens up into a booklet, and it also has a hidden pocket right here. See if my fingers can do this. Sometimes my hands don't cooperate with me. There we go. Over here, a little word flower with some ruffle and a little brad and some lace in the background for interest. This is a pocket here. And it says, be your beautiful self, because I think MJ is a beautiful person. And it opens up, and it's magnet. It's got magnets here, covered with fabric. So it holds in place. Over here is a little rose with some laces and some of that grass cloth with some stitching, and a vintage lady, and a stitched card. I saw this, who did this? Excuse me, Bohemian Crafting, Ava. She did this little pocket idea, and I thought it was so cute. I wanted to try it, and I really like it. And it's got some grass cloth and a little image here, lots of roses. And it's a tuck spot here. And a tuck spot here. And this is a bunch of fabrics with a button that's been sewn on and some laces. And on the side, I didn't trim it all the way off. I left it hanging over and stuck a safety pin with a antique bead on it. And I promised MJ some Louisiana recipes, so I stuck 3 in here. And this is it's a big pocket, and it's got some of that thready stuff that I like to use with lace. Another bead, a tag with lace. What have we here? Shrimp patty do. It is cream cheese, sour cream, cooked shrimp, green onions, parsley, Worcestershire, and red pepper to taste. Now this is something that I make too, but I add onions and celery and omit the Worcestershire. But you can do it either way. It's really, when I take this to a party, it is the first thing to go. So I'll just kind of leave it here so y'all can see it in case you need to write this down, because it is an excellent recipe. And of course, these are journaling cards too, where you can write, recipes on the back. And this is crawfish and sausage jambalaya, which jambalaya is a traditional dish here in Louisiana. Now, I realize that not everybody has crawfish, so I would substitute shrimp, I think, for this. And Creole seasonings, I'm sure you can get Tony Chachere's at any grocery store. That's the same thing. And, I would substitute a pound of shrimp or a little bit of shrimp. You can actually put anything you want. The basis is everything else. The sausage and the crawfish or whatever meat you decide to use is secondary. So you can add chicken, you can add, fish, you can add sausage, whatever you want. So that's a good one. That's a yummy one. And then the last one is Gumbo Verde, green gumbo. So I'm sure that's pretty good. I haven't tried it, but I see it's got a bunch of stuff, good stuff. It has onion and bell pepper in it and garlic. In Louisiana, you cannot get away with not using garlic. It is like, I don't know, a staple. So, I would, if I did anything to this, I would add, you can add celery, and you could omit the mustard greens if you wanted to. And you could omit the navy beans and add okra. Well, that is my Louisiana cooking lesson for today. Those are all delicious recipes. Over here, got a lace pocket with some sari ribbon that I stitched on and a coffee dyed rose. Some fabrics over here, and that's seam binding, real beautiful, graphic. And in here I put one of my booklets, and it says Blessed. And it's coffee dyed, and it too has a pocket. Over here is some of that heavy textured stitching. You have a pocket here. Pocket here, and then this lifts up for journaling, and this is twisted sari silk. Over here I wanted to add a few more pages for writing, so that's what this is. It's stitched in green, and if I can get this off, what have I hooked on? Come here, little dude. I can't see for the bow. There we go. Silly me. And this is some gold sari ribbon, and I stitched all this in green. And it's got, isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. So it's got several sheets here to journal on. And this is pearl with a safety pin and some tulle, some strings. And over here, I bet you there's another pocket, maybe? Nope. Put that back on. But there is a pocket here. Right here. And then this teacup is a pocket of a vintage lady, and it's got some stitching on a book page. A luncheon ticket with some sari ribbon and a rose. And of course I didn't put anything in here because you may want to put your own thing in here. And over here is some fabric and a ruffle, and I cut out a rose and antique the edges. And then here's some fabric over here, and this is a piece of fabric on top of a paper pocket. So some of the paper peeps out behind. And you don't want that thread, MJ. And a little coffee dyed piece of paper, but it is a raised pocket, so it will definitely hold more. Over here is a handsome gentleman. Make sure I've put so many pockets in here I can't remember them. We have a handsome gentleman, and this is these stamps are from that estate sale that I got, and this one I printed off, and it's got some grass cloth with some squiggly sewing and some French, and then behind him I put some cards. A little ruffle there, and then I heavily inked a pocket, and then I put the grass cloth over it, so I really like that contrast. Excuse me. Over here I embossed a page to put on a pocket, and we have a pretty vintage lady here, and I just tucked a card behind her. And then over here, another safety pin. That. Come on. There we go. Me and my fumbly fingers. Really? There. And I just tied on some laces and some sari ribbon and some seam binding for that. And you have a pocket here also behind the lady. Some lace. And then this is a hidden pocket in here. It's held together with that safety pin. I love that technique. I had to do it twice. And then over here is an organza pocket with a silk flower and some seam binding. And it's a pocket with a dress card, alterations card in it. Fits nicely in there. And then over here is some more of those corrugated hearts and a corrugated butterfly in pink. This is also a little pocket if you need to, or a tuck spot. Pocket back here. Over here on the last page, I have a little safety pin holding this envelope. And this is a belly band. You can put stuff under there if you want. The safety pin will hold it. And it's got a little piece of coffee dyed paper in it. And then you have another corrugated heart on a fabric pocket here. Where'd my ticket go? There it is. So you have a pocket here, or tuck spot here. This is a pocket here. See how it goes down? This is a pocket. And then this is, you can use that for a tuck spot if you wish, but also this itself is a pocket. So you can hide something in there. And I'll put this stuff back. There's the back. And I left this loose. So it's sewn down, but it's not glued down. There's the spine. And there's the cover. Now this only has, believe it or not, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 pieces of cardstock. And look what happens when you start adding all your stuff. These are signatures of 2. So, I mean, it gets so big that I've reinforced the cardstock. It has a lace reinforcement and and then I use the grass cloth here. But each one has got lace on the spine to reinforce that spine of each signature. So it will hold the weight. The weight of these things gets really big too. I mean, this is stout. So as you start adding all these things, it gets further and further and further apart. This is just 2 pieces of paper that all these things are added onto. So you have to plan, you have to have enough space in between here to fit everything on these pages. Or it's just not gonna, it's not gonna work. So, if you decide to do something like this, allow for the bulge. Kind of like when you overeat. I would never do that. Back in my younger day, I did. But you can see it gets so big. But anyway, and like I said, MJ, I would take some stuff out if you're going to add some stuff in. Every time you take something out. But it does have a reinforced spine. It's got, you know, and then the fabric gives it strength too. To me, fabric is one of the best ways to reinforce a spine, or lace for paper to keep it light. But there you go. And this is MJ's new child. And I hope you like it, MJ. It's got lots of goodies in it. You may have to watch this video again to find all the places that are pockets. And I want to thank y'all for being here and watching my videos. And I've got a couple more to make today. So I will see you in a few minutes. Bye-bye.